you are sexy.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
I have a bad feeling about this.
We're inside the Mouse Castle with Tim and Anthony.
Welcome to the party. You found the Mouse Castle Lounge. The
Visit
place
us
to be
at
for good times and great conversations
Follow the Mouse
from the
Castle
world of
on
Disney.
Facebook.
The bar is
Inside the
open,
MCL
your
on
table
Twitter.
is waiting, and
Inside
drinks
the
are
Mouse
now
Castle
being
is
served.
not affiliated
Come on
with the Walt
in.
Disney
And
Company.
now, here's your
Soon,
host,
you'll understand
the keeper
why.
of the Mouse
Here's
Castle
Tim and
Lounge,
Anthony.
Tim Calloway.
Welcome to the Mouse Castle. I'm Tim Calloway.
And I'm Anthony Reynolds. It is April 13th, 2021.
And we're working with the script. How's that? How about that?
At least an outline, I guess.
Yes.
Or do I have a full script? Am I supposed to be going word for word?
I guess it's kind of an outline, but I actually did have typed out in the notes here, and we are working with the script today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I didn't know if that was... Oh, wait, never mind. My line's coming up. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. See, we're still working out the bugs as we bring the show back. We are your weekly dose, we think, of Disney news, information, and commentary. And Anthony Reynolds, what is going on today?
Well, what you need to know when Disneyland is finally going to reopen at the end of this month. There are some new rides at Universal Studios that I'm just in love with. And have you ever been in Disneyland jail? That's very curious. Well, that's all coming up in the Mouse Castle.
Okay, so Disneyland, so the rumor goes, is finally reopening to the public.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. And see, what is it? It's it's going to open. What is it? Is it like April 30th or when is that?
I think it's April 30th.
Yes, it is.
I don't have it in front of me, but yes,
Yeah.
I believe that is the agreed upon date.
Yes, and actually, the 12th was the day that if you had previous tickets, you could go ahead and make park reservations, and then on April 15th. That's when tickets are going to resume, assuming you are from California, because they're only available to California residents.
Now, I read something. Apparently, they're doing, when you buy the tickets, they're like geolocating you from where you buy the tickets to make sure that you are from California.
Okay. So what if I'm from Nevada, or in your case, from Texas, and I happen to be in California at the time that I am purchasing my tickets?
What about VPNs? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess at some point they will want your address for like credit card verification or whatever. Disneyland has ways. Disney knows things about you.
Well, I mean, I did get on the payment plan for the annual pass the first time I got it while I was living in Arizona. I went to a bank there, opened up a bank account with a fake lease with the address of a couple friends of ours.
Nice.
And they allowed me to go on the payment plan, and then I forgot to put money in that account, and then I lost that.
Oh, crap. Okay. All right.
So there are ways. You just gotta lie.
There are ways. Not that we condone any of this.
No, I would never do that
we
again.
all want everyone to follow the rules, yes. Unless you're in Florida, where Walt Disney World has been open for months because Florida hates you.
The only rule in Florida is there are no rules. Spring break!
Florida man.
He's gonna get you.
Yeah. So it's only going to be open for California residents at the start, and of course, none of your favorite rides and restaurants will be open. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
perhaps I'm overgeneralizing.
Well, I'm not really in a rush post-pandemic to get into the cramped quarters of Nemo's Undersea Adventure or whatever the submarines anyway. That doesn't sound great. True. Even if you are every other seat.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, I know. And yeah, I mean, if the subs are open, I mean, that's still a closed, confined area. Is that one actually going to be open?
No. That one is not open. but
God,
I'm not asking.
I'm just thinking. I'm just picturing this. It's like, I don't think that looks good. Now the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, they are going to be opening for guests on the 29th of April. So you can get there a day before you go on your visit to the park.
But they said that that does not guarantee you entry into the park. You still have to have a reservation there and a reservation at the park.
I see. Okay.
So if you want to spend too much money at a hotel in Anaheim, there you go.
Is there any other way? Whatever happened to affordable hotels in Anaheim?
Well, I don't. What happened to affordable hotels at Disney?
Well, okay.
Because I've gone to Florida and I've never found I've never found a reason to stay on property in Orlando, but like at Disney. But Universal though, you can get Cabana Bay for like $90 a night.
Nice. You know, and just a bit of trivia: Universal Studios in Florida is about, I don't know, a few blocks away from where I used to live when I lived in Florida a lifetime ago.
I had no idea you lived in Florida.
I did. I went to high school there.
Oh, did you go to that high school across from Universal?
No. I actually went to. I actually went to high school in Winter Garden, West Orange High School. Go Warriors! And it's like the next city over. I was going to a school in Orlando for my sophomore year, and then they redistricted our area, and I went from going to a school that was maybe 15 minutes away to a school that was a half hour to 45 minutes away.
A little bit of a difference.
A little bit of a difference, but it always amuses me that they built Universal Studios Florida right there in my old neighborhood, and the condo where my mom and I lived, they are still standing. The condos are still there.
Yeah, because I think that there's actually a high school. Like I think so. You go like where the Kong ride is. You go right behind there. There's a street, and I think there's a high school, like right there.
Okay. You know, I mean, it's been a hell of a long time since I've lived in Florida, so I'm sure things have changed just a little bit.
But anyway, back to Disneyland.
Back to Disneyland. Now, they do have a new land opening up at the Disneyland Resort this summer, and the Avengers Campus is going to open on June 4th.
I wasn't aware of this, and then I was like, oh, of course, campus, yes, the Avengers, yes, I forgot that.
It is campus, yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you, I'm looking over the Disney Parks blog right now, and they refer to it as a land, but is calling it a campus really a land?
I just honestly, I thought that there was something I didn't know about, but yes. I've been hearing about Avengers forever. Mm-hmm. This thing is supposed to open. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That hasn't actually opened yet.
No. And
it looks okay, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to be invited to team up with Avengers and their allies to live out your superhero dreams. Well, my superhero dreams are kind of weird, so I don't know.
Well, you're getting that Black Widow movie coming out, so I'm sure there'll be...
Oh, yeah, I know. I look so good in that outfit, though. I mean, come on.
I stretch it a bit. It's you can tell the outfit's in pain when I put it on. I don't know. I think that it looks all right. I'm actually... You know, the more and more that I think, because I was a pass holder at Disney probably from 2015 to 2017, 2018, which I think was like for me, peak time to be a pass holder. I got so many benefits out of it. I loved it. Mm-hmm. But I think the more that I was a pass holder, the more that I went, the less it became about rides. And the more it became about food.
Very good.
And I think that still comes into play when I'm looking at this land. I'm looking forward to the food more than I am the rides.
Okay. I won't lie. I'm looking forward to the bars. Okay. There.
They got the Ant-Man thing.
Now at the Avengers Campus here, they are going to have a ride through Spider-Man adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
Tom Holland is going to voice Spider-Man.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yay. I can tell you're excited about this. Now, I have a question along that line. Yeah. Is there still that licensing issue in Florida? Because Universal Studios still has their Spider-Man ride, right?
Yes, that is my... So in case people don't know, just to give some context, in 5 years since we recorded this, I've become a complete Universal stan. So gosh. I love all... I love it. So that's why there might be a little bit more Universal talk than there were 5 years ago. Anyway, the whole Marvel situation in Florida is one of my favorite things of all time. Because yes, it does exist. And no, Disney can't do anything about it unless they want to buy it out or Universal stops maintaining a certain quality there, which I don't think Universal has any intention of doing.
No.
So there are a few loopholes, however. So like Avengers characters and stuff, like those can't be really used by Disney. I think the general rule is east of the Mississippi, but there are a few, loopholes they can get around with. Like, for instance, I mean, obviously they're putting in the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction,
Right.
the roller coaster at Epcot. So those characters specifically, I don't think are included in the contract. But yeah, no, it. So there already is a Spider-Man ride, and it exists in Universal.
And I've always loved that Spider-Man ride.
It's
been ages since I've been on it, but I remember the first time I rode it, I was just blown away by how cool it was.
It's absolutely amazing, and that's why I'm very kind of about the Disney one coming out, because I don't know that they can beat that. Also, I'm just kind of whatever about shooting rides. I mean, I just kind of want to be in it. I don't want to have to concentrate on it.
Yeah, I know. See, that's too much work, and yeah, which is why I'm not big on Toy Story, Midway Mania.
I don't get that.
And
It's
Buzz
just a screen.
Lightyear, and I mean they're fun. It's cute, but I don't need to interact. With the ride that I'm on. I mean, this is why the Haunted Mansion and why Pirates of the Caribbean hold up so well, because they're just good.
Like, I shouldn't have
I don't have to shoot the pirates.
I have been waiting all my life to ride the Millennium Falcon. I shouldn't have to stress about it.
Right. It should be
So,
an
fun
entertaining
fact.
experience. I want a totally entertaining passive experience.
So, fun
I
fact,
just want to
though,
watch it go by.
You mentioned you don't want to shoot the pirates in Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, I have to tell my story then. My first year, my parents had just visited me a few days ago. We're all vaccinated, all that, yada, yada, yada. And we were talking about our first trip to Disney World. And my whole thing, when I was because I was young, I'm 9, 10, 11, something, when I was in 1994. And I was scared of robots. I was good with anything. I did not like robots. The only reason I was okay with Hall of Presidents was because I saw a sign that said cast members only, and I assumed they were actors.
I love it.
So we were about to go on Pirates of the Caribbean, and I knew that there were robots on this ride, and I was scared to hell to face these robots. And my dad was mad at me, obviously, because I'm a little kid. Pirates of the Caribbean is not that bad. All that money, and I'm not going on it. And so he's like, you got to go on this ride. And I'm like crying, like, I don't want to go on it. Well, a cast member saw this, comes over, and goes, what's the problem? And my dad was like, I just want to go on the ride. He's scared. So the cast member took me to the gift shop at the Disney World Pirates of the Caribbean, took out his wallet, bought me a toy rifle, and said, go on the ride. If the pirates...
Back in the days when you could still buy those toy pistols and rifles.
And I don't even know if it had the orange tip at the end, but he was like, if you get scared, go on the ride, shoot the pirates.
Nice.
And that's what I did.
That's kind of brilliant.
It was. So I'm sitting there on the ride, through tears, holding a rifle, shooting robots.
I love that story.
Yeah, no, and so I don't know if that's where my love for it all began, but that was definitely something I'll never forget.
Oh my God. I love that. Okay. So interactive rides. Yeah. So Spider-Man Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure.
Don't need a rifle on that one.
Where they will give you a gun and you will shoot. I don't know. No, you'll just, what you do like little web slinging things. Shouldn't I just be able to push a little button or a little like pulse point on my wrist and it'll just happen that way?
Well, that's what it is. So it's like there's nothing on your hand, but you do the spider motion and then it somehow registers that. And that's how you shoot.
Modern technology, gosh.
I know. So yeah, that's
my apologies to Bill Farmer for that one.
Man.
Anyway,
I keep getting him as a suggested friend, and I'm like, I don't know this guy.
I am friends with Bill.
I know.
Farmer
I think
on
that's
Facebook.
why. So yeah, I think the Spider-Man ride is going to be okay. I'm okay with it. I don't have any complaints right now because I haven't been on it, obviously. Hopefully it blows me out of the way. But I think that Universal has a pretty high goalpost or whatever. And that ride's, 20 years old at this point? And it's still
at least,
amazing.
Yeah, and it still rocks. Yeah,
Yep.
it does. Now also at this Avengers Campus, they've got the PIM Test Kitchen where Michael Douglas will come out and cook for you.
Sorry, there's a joke I'm not going to make.
Oh, go for it. The worst thing that can happen is I'll edit it out. I cannot repeat that. Okay, that's not going. That's not going.
So, yeah, anyway, I'm trying to eat, Michael.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
please cut
Yeah,
that. Please cut that.
I'm gonna cut that. That was just
Sorry.
awful. I'm gonna leave this part in though, so because people need to see just how we react.
just play it with just a beep.
Yeah, that's almost certain. Anyway, yeah, there's going to be I don't know. They're going to try different types of. I really don't understand what this means. They will grow and shrink just about anything. Quoting from the Disney Parks blog again, PIM Technologies applies this science to the creation of shareable bites, inventive entrees, and sweet treats. So are there going to be like, giant meatballs and, like really small little...
I don't know. There was something about
I don't know what.
panini strips. Like that was a thing I thought I read about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Like, what's a panini strip? Why is I don't know. But they got microbrews there, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's my whole thing. Oh, a pimini.
Piminini. Yeah.
Pimini.
Now the one that absolutely does make sense, and this one just made me giggle when I saw it. They are going to have a shawarma palace.
That's good.
Because that is the best line and the best joke in the first Avengers movie.
Yes, and I'm really big on like the food experience, as I said, with parks, and so I like when they explore, just not American food, because I think so many times you go to a place at a theme park and it's like burgers that are just dried out, and it's like, give me something new, and so I'm all about shawarma because it's more than just hamburgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. See now that thumbs up to that. I love that.
Yeah, that's
so
where I'm
yeah.
gonna be.
So it's going to be. I mean, it sounds not awful. It sounds fun.
I mean, we're not going to have any more Heimlich's choo-choo train, and I still don't know that this whole thing is worth it. That was quite a loss to me.
I know. For all the cheesiness of A Bug's Land, God, I love that place.
And I am a big fan of just 3D shows in general. Like right now, my Twitter account is maybe ironically, but I don't think so. I'm on the Honey I Shrunk the Audience stan account, and I loved Honey I Shrunk the Audience in the same way that I love It's Tough to Be a Bug. Mm-hmm. I miss those kinds of things, and so I'll miss that. But at least we're getting an actual attraction replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug instead of how we lost Honey I Shrunk the Audience, whatever, to previews of movies over there.
Yes.
And the same thing with Muppet Vision, which I still am upset that didn't get a bigger deal when that closed down in California.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with that.
So at least we're getting something out of it, not just advertising.
Yes. Now you were talking
clone.
Now you were talking about Universal Studios. They have some new rides and attractions that have got your attention. So
I'm really big at. I love Universal Florida. That's kind of become my home park in the last few years, not the last one, but Universal Hollywood has kind of been it's there, it's cool, you gotta go, because they got the backlot tour and all that stuff, but they are making major steps to become a destination. They're building Nintendo Land, or at least part of it. They're getting the Mario Kart ride, but they're getting everything else, which looks amazing, if you've seen the videos from Japan. But they also had the Jurassic Park ride, and before everything closed down, they had done an update to make it Jurassic World, which, part of you is just like, I kind of like the classics, but they did a great job, just even with what they opened before everything closed. But what they had before everything closed wasn't the complete attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, you have the T-Rex and the Indominus. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way, if you want to not know what happens. But anyway... but it was just it was like the Indominus was kind of peeking out a little bit, but not doing much. But now they redid that finale 100%, and it is amazing. The thing comes out walking and it attacks, and I can't wait to go on it. It looks so cool. I used to not want them to replace the Florida version just because of how classic it was, but now I'm like, bring on Jurassic World to Florida. I don't care. This is a step up in animatronics, and it's probably, in my opinion, the best animatronic on the West Coast.
Whoa. That's a lot. That says a lot. Wow.
And, yeah, that thing is amazing. So yes, but that's been open for technically a bit. The one thing I really loved was they have The Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash. Now, I admittedly have not seen those movies. I'm generally not a huge fan of anything kind of Illumination. I don't care.
Confession, I like both Secret Life of Pets movies. I think they're cute and they're fun. And so, yeah. So when I heard that they were doing a ride, it's like, okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and I haven't seen them, to be honest. I don't have a problem with them or whatever. I just generally am kind of whatever. I skip those things.
Mm-hmm.
But this ride, Off the Leash, that they put at Universal, which was ready to open in March 2020. So it's been sitting there. Nobody has seen it for over a year. Now, they had the Taste of Universal going on, where it was, kind of food festival thing, and Universal quietly kind of opened up a few rides, Jurassic World being one of them, and Secret Life of Pets being one of the other ones. And this ride is just charming. I love the video that I've seen. First off, the queue, it reminds me of, have you been to Halloween Horror Nights?
No, I have never done Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay.
Mostly because I don't think I've ever been able just to get in because they sell out so fast.
Oh my God, it's amazing. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. So this kind of reminds me, not the scary portions of it, but you're having a walkthrough similar to that.
Okay.
So the line doesn't feel like a line. It feels like you're walking through a house. And there are animatronics left and right there. The theming is just amazing. And then once you get on the ride, it's an animatronic just everywhere.
Mm-hmm. It reminded me like on what the Monsters Inc. ride at DCA should have been. I mean, it's cute and it's fun and I enjoy it, but it reminded me very much of that. But like you said, better animatronics, a little better immersion.
Yes, it's what you said, Monsters Inc. should have been if they had put fully articulated animatronics in there instead of mannequins that move their hands, and then a decapitated Drew Carey in a yellow suit. No, so it looks really cool. A lot of people are saying that they want that to go into Florida. I don't agree. I think they're on the right track and doing something like that, but I want them to see something with the same kind of stuff with a whole nother franchise over there. I'm not a big fan of cloning. Mm-hmm. But they nailed the dark ride. They 100% have it. I think they got the message loud and clear that, hey, you guys are doing a little too much screens. And so the screens they do have on this one are pretty well balanced with what they have, and they're well utilized.
Yeah. Disney sometimes gets a little too carried away with the screens. The one, and I'm not going to give anything away. The videos are out there if you want to see them on YouTube. But the backstory to the Secret Life of Pets ride is that you are in fact a pet about to be adopted, and there's one very cute little gimmick that goes with that. I know you know what I'm talking about. I won't give it away.
Yep.
But when I saw that, I thought, oh, that is just adorable.
Yes, it's great. So when that opens up, if you live in California, if you don't live, but I think Universal Hollywood they're almost a full day park, which they haven't been in ever, I don't think.
Well, I mean, you combine that, and they got this Harry Potter thing you might have heard of. So I mean, there's stuff to do there.
Yeah. Yes, so I mean, definitely, because my first time I went to Universal, I think Potter was under construction, so I got to see it a little bit in the before time, and it was very much lacking. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they definitely with Nintendo World opening up. I don't know if they've announced that, but yeah, they're definitely a destination now. Universal is just nothing but wins lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, something that's really good for the overall theme park environment, because it forces Disney to keep their game up, because they have they've got serious competition.
Yeah, and I honestly I credit myself a little bit to how Universal is doing. They had me.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Anthony, for all you have contributed
they
to
pulled
this.
me into. I did a survey thing, and they go, "We want to talk to you more." And they pulled me in a room with a camera and asked me how I felt about the park. And
Oh my God, that was you?
yes, so this is me. They gave me a $50 gift card for lunch and 2 front of the line passes for a half hour of my time. So I might have signed a non-disclosure, but I'm not saying anything else.
Fair enough. Alrighty. Now, you and I have spent a considerable amount of time at the Disney parks, Disneyland in particular,
Yes.
and our behavior levels have tended to be, nothing that would like get us in trouble. I mean, I can recall several times, if not myself, being with friends who may have had a few more cocktails and got a little rowdy. I remember one night there was a group we were with. We had a wine reception at Trattoria, and it was rather late at night. And I remember some of us being quite loud and being closely followed by Disney security. And I remember not me, but at least one person I can think of did a rather unspeakable thing to the large bear that's in front of Grizzly River Rapids.
I remember having eyes on me during was it no, not Paint the Night, that's a parade. Mad Tea Party once.
Okay.
There was a group of our friends were there, and I was being a little rambunctious, and there was a gentleman from afar watching me, stepping a little bit closer.
Has it ever landed you in Disney jail, though?
No. I'm too good of a runner.
No, very
I'm not.
good.
I'm not at all. I'd be dragged over there.
It was funny. I just kind of stumbled upon this by accident, and it amused me. But BuzzFeed is actually looking for people who have, as they put it, experienced the infamous Disney jail. And it's not just limited to Disneyland. It's for any Disney amusement park, theme park. And
it's curious that they're actually doing research and not just ripping a thread off Reddit and
basically, yeah. I think they want to talk to people in person. I actually saw this on the acting site backstage because they're asking for auditions. It is a paid opportunity. They will shoot your story. They will record it remotely via video conferencing. But they want to know people who have gone into Disney jail. Now, and Disney jail is such a euphemism. All it is certainly Disneyland. It's a security office. And the security office is located behind the Opera House, where Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is. And also Anaheim Police have a substation that's adjacent to Downtown Disney.
You know quite a bit about that, Tim.
I actually did research. Yeah, I do not know anything about this from personal experience.
In the last few months, you didn't try to sneak in and...
No, although many years ago, when I was a wee lad, I actually got into Disneyland without paying.
How'd you do that? In a stroller?
Yeah, wow. No, not a little older than that. I'm going to say I was in my late teens, maybe even early 20s, and I was in Anaheim. I was on a Disneyland trip with my mom, and we were actually staying at the Disneyland Hotel, and we had like a multi-day passport. Now, back then, it's not like it is now where it's either, it's barcodes or it's on your phone or, you have a bracelet on your wrist or anything like that. If you went to the park and you left the park, it was the hand stamp, and it was only the hand stamp. So we're talking, this has got to be, I don't know, early 1980s. And
I wasn't alive.
After I hate you. After having been at the park, like, I don't know, we had it was a multi-day passport, so it was like 4 or 5 days. I had all of these hand stamps on my hand because they lasted a few days, and it was just a total mess. You couldn't make out any particular name, and it was like, Alice or Pluto or whatever on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some time. My mom was chilling back at the hotel, and I was just bopping around. And I thought, I'm going to try to get into Disneyland one more time and see if it works.
And it did.
And it did. I went to the monorail station, and I put my hand under the black light, and it's just a mess. And the cast member, keeps twisting and turning my hand, and then she's quizzing me about, did you, what exit did you go through? Do you remember who it was who stamped your hand? Blah 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 blah. And it was still relatively early. It was before noon, so there, not as many people are leaving the park that early. So I think maybe in her mind it was probably a little questionable. But the pattern on the back of my hand was such a mess that she couldn't really challenge it, so she let me on. And I went to Disneyland. I rode the monorail. I got off the monorail at the Tomorrowland station, went over and rode the Skyway.
Like I say, got on the monorail, got off at the downtown Disney, and then couldn't get back in, and so it was a waste.
Yes, exactly. So I am the reason that there are even more security protocols in place. And I'm probably going to end up going to Disney jail now.
Well, they only got rid of the hand stamp, I think, probably was when I was a pass holder. Because when I started being a pass holder, they had the hand stamp. So it probably would have been 2016, 2017 or something that they stopped doing that.
Yeah. And even then, I mean, you had the hand stamp, but you also had to show your ticket. But they finally did away with it. And even though I for a while I was an annual pass holder too, I always got my hand stamped anyway because of tradition.
I know, I liked it, and I always asked them, which character is it today? And they never knew. It was really weird. Like, I thought you would probably know, but they didn't pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah. So that shows what a critical, bit of security it was to get back in the park. Yeah. So it's, so anyway, yeah, that's my story of my criminal endeavor 40 years ago at Disneyland. And I feel really bad about it.
Do you really?
No, not at all. I thought it was so cool.
So, well, yeah. So if you've been in Disneyland jail, call BuzzFeed, I guess.
Yeah. Or if you are an actor or a performer and you have a backstage account, all the information is there, backstage.com. And if you have a story to tell, they will possibly pay you for it. You just have to record a video.
Bring 2 bars of a song and you'll be good.
There you go. That's entertainment.
Well, speaking of actors, now are you familiar with Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Fleabag on Amazon.
Yes. So I have seen a couple years ago, I think, a few episodes of the first season. It was one of those shows that I liked. For no reason that I can think of, I stopped watching. But I definitely need to revisit. So that's how I kind of know her. I wasn't aware. I guess I never looked into the voice of the female droid in Solo, but she apparently played that as well.
Wow.
Yes, I did not know that. I did not know that. I
did not know that.
It's weird, wild stuff. Sorry. That was before me anyway. But she has been set to co-star in Indiana Jones 5, if that ever happens.
Now, they're supposed to start shooting this summer. And it's going to be released next year. And do you know that when the Indiana Jones movie is released next year, it's going to be just like a couple of weeks after Harrison Ford's 80th birthday?
That's what. So I'm really wondering what it's going to be like for this movie. Like, is this going to be his last one? Are they passing the whip? I don't know.
I don't know. I have questions about this whole thing. And also, assuming because Harrison Ford continues to get much older, where it's going to be set and how it's going to be done. Now, we've done plenty of World War II era stuff. And okay, we did the Ark of the Covenant, and we did Indian religious artifacts in Temple of Doom. We did the Holy Grail, and then we did aliens for some god awful reason, who knows? And of course, flying refrigerators. In Indiana Jones 4, what bit of culture or mythology or religion are they going to use for this next one? Which is probably, I would assume, is going to be set sometime in the early 60s.
So somebody did the math on Twitter, and I have not verified this, but given when Indiana Jones is born, combined with Harrison Ford's age, there's a good chance that Indiana Jones 5 could take place in 1977, and Indiana Jones could go see Star Wars.
Okay, that's one of those time travel paradoxes that I'm just not ready. I mean, that's like when matter and antimatter come together, there's a big explosion. This is not going to end well.
I'm just saying, if there is a tongue-in-cheek joke where he walks out of Star Wars and says he doesn't like the guy who played Han Solo, I'm getting up and walking out of the theater. I will not stand for that. I do not want that.
Well, this is like one of my favorite Stan Lee cameos, his last one that he did in Captain Marvel, where he's on the bus. He's reading a script for Kevin Smith's Mallrats, which he appeared in as Stan Lee. And it's like, that was so meta. I love, that's like my all-time favorite. So are we going to get stuff like that in the next Indiana Jones?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it takes place in a... Because, obviously I think they might have aged him down a bit in the fourth one. But, I don't know, everybody loves a period piece set in the 60s or 70s with, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and stuff. I mean, I don't think you can stretch them to... We could have Indiana Jones 1984.
And a crossover to Wonder Woman. That could be interesting.
Will be better no matter what.
No kidding.
God, that movie was a mess.
And now this is another thing too. Everyone thought that Spielberg was going to direct this new Indiana Jones one, but now it's going to be, James Mangold is going to be the director.
Mangold, yes. He's one of those directors I know, but I can never think about what he's done. But he did he do Logan? No, he's a producer on that. Oh, he directed Walk the Line.
Oh, that's a good credential.
Yes, and that was did that win the Oscar that year? I don't even remember.
Reese Witherspoon got Best Actress.
That's right.
And
he did.
And Joaquin Phoenix was nominated but didn't win.
Yeah, he did. Every dad's favorite movie, Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you're right. Yep. I'm pulling up his IMDb right now, but you got that right. You got Logan. You got Walk the Line.
And did a little bit of Marvel, Logan, the Wolverine. So he's kind of he's Disney adjacent this whole time. So, but yeah, the stuff he's done. I mean, I need to go. I need to see Logan. I still have not seen that. But from everything I hear, it's one of the better X-Men movies, if not the best one.
Yeah, and it's funny. I have seen parts of it. I have not seen the whole thing from beginning to end. But what I did see of it, it's really good. It's dark and deep, and yeah.
So I'm kind of a completist in the way that if I watch a movie that comes at the end of something, I have to watch everything that leads up to it, and so. I can watch all the X-Men movies. It's all right until you get towards the end, but
that's a struggle.
The Wolverine movies are a very big struggle, especially because I don't know, even the Wolverine I was kind of whatever about. But I did that because I think you had mentioned that you saw Kong versus Godzilla last week.
And loved it. So absolutely loved it.
I put it on to start, and I'm like, okay, I apparently need some context here. And so I sat through the first two Godzilla movies. I'd already seen Skull Island a while ago, so I skipped that and watched. Finally got to Kong versus Godzilla yesterday.
And you know what? What's funny? It's not those Godzilla movies or Skull Island that made me enjoy Kong versus Godzilla so much. It was the old throwbacks, 50s, 60s, 70s. Movies. I grew up, on a steady diet of sci-fi monster flicks. Thank you, Bob Wilkins, Creature Features in the San Francisco Bay Area. But I mean, showed all of those movies, all of the old Universal, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Wolfman, all those movies, all the castle horror films, all of those. I mean, that's what I grew up on. And the thing I loved about this movie, the Kong versus Godzilla, there are so many references back to the original ones, not the ones that have been made in the last 10 or 20 years. I'm talking going way back to the beginning, even to how they staged the fights. And even using modern technology and CG effects and all that, there was still a look to it that every now and then it was kind of a wink to, the guys in the rubber suits or the gorilla suit duking it out. And you can tell that this movie was made by film geeks that loved that stuff.
And that's what I did like about that, because versus the other two Godzilla movies in that kind of franchise, is I was like, there's too many humans talking in this movie.
And that's always been the problem.
Yeah.
And I actually read an article, yesterday or today, that of people complaining about, even people who liked the movie, complaining that it made no sense. Well, of course it doesn't make sense.
No.
All we care about is that Kong and Godzilla go at it and blow stuff up good.
And
that's all that matters. All
by
the humans just get in the
ones
way. That's just unnecessary.
People watch it for the reference to the older movies and also Lethal Weapon 2.
That's true.
Which was credited in the... Lethal Weapon 2 was credited in that movie because Kong, he dislocated his shoulder and he pops it into place.
And slams it.
In the same way that Riggs
was
did.
Actually Mel Gibson. That really was Mel Gibson in a Kong suit.
It was Mel Gibson as himself. All right, and that is going to do it for this episode of The Mouse Castle. Don't forget to visit us at themousecastle.com and on Facebook and Instagram at The Mouse Castle.
I'm still trying to work out Twitter, because we don't actually have a Mouse Castle handle on Twitter.
We don't?
Unless you want to throw out your own personal Twitter out there.
Well, you can follow me at 2E717. That's TUI717. I'm there cracking wise every day.
Yes, and you can follow me on Vegas Voice Actor. And there's actually people who own and who use Mouse Castle and The Mouse Castle on Twitter, and both of those accounts have been inactive for anywhere from 5 to 7 years.
Well, that was us, though.
That was not us.
Well, we were inactive for 5 years.
No, yeah, that's true. But even before that, something that makes it even going back even further, because they've been inactive. But anyway, we're on the socials. You can find us. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. And I am working on getting us listed, if we're not there already, because I have not kept up on this, on Spotify and Amazon Music. We are working on that to make it easier for you to find us. And of course, you can always find us on the mousecastle.com and wherever fine podcasts are produced.
Found.
So yeah.
Wherever. All right. That's it. See ya.